Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 4 of The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So last we left off, I'm hoping Jahy learned a bit of a lesson because her vanity stuck her with something like a 5-figure bill for all the stuff she comped when Druj was visiting the restaurant that she totally owned and didn't, work at. However, it seems like Jahy now has some competition. Someone considers themselves to be the true number 2 in the Dark Realm. And, this Sarva character, she really has it out for Jahy. So, I find the idea of Jahy having any real competition to be kinda silly, since what little we've seen, it seems like she really was just undisputed. But this Sarva character, it seems like this is mainly one-sided on her part. She has it in for Jahy, but no matter what she does, it seems like, rather than Jahy slapping her down, it's more, just a series of misfortunate events where circumstances conspire against her. So, she claims to be better and smarter and more magnificent, but, the facts don't really bear this out. I'm almost wondering if Sarva here is being affected by the misfortune that mana crystals provide. Because, sure, the boss, smacked her knee on a table leg that one time, but as far as misfortunes go, that's not really that bad. I think it's probably worse to be like a literal flunky who can't even so much as challenge her boss when she's, seemingly allegedly better. And it probably doesn't help that she can't confront her rival, I guess, head on, Oh, that's cowardly, just attacking from behind, but I guess that's what these Dark Realm demons do, Alright, so I think I understand what's going on here. This is completely just a misunderstanding on Sarva's part. Jahy's talking to someone else. Probably, the landlord, I'd imagine, trying to pry rent from her. Oh. Okay, so it's just like a dog or something. Something tells me this animal's just gonna maul Sarva or something. Ooh. So that's interesting that Sarva would spend so much time making this magic amplification potion. I imagine she's going to squander it in one way or another, or, maybe like Jahy would drink it by mistake. There's no way this'll just work out, right? Oh. Man, you know it's over when you just drop the potion you spend 3 months refining. I mean, I guess if it's any consolation, Jahy could probably sympathize far more with Sarva than she would be willing to believe. Ah, jeez. You know it's over when you have to consider licking your potion off the ground as it mingles with the asphalt and broken glass. Like, this is a rock bottom that Jahy has not yet hit. Ah, man, that's a good way to get, like, glass in your tongue. That's horrible. I guess even more horrible, the dog beat her to it. Which, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen, really? I mean, surely this dog will start to bedevil her, right? Oh, buddy. It's never a good thing when a dog grows precipitously like this. Man, how is Sarva gonna answer for her crimes? Because, like, you know, a dog, no matter how well-meaning at that size, it's just gonna cause problems. You know, it's probably not a good idea to call the dog a stupid mutt when it's, you know, like 5 times bigger than you. And, like, the dog's not even being, you know, malicious either. He just wants to play, the poor little scamp. Yeah, I think it's fair to say this is karma. Man, this really is a debacle if all sorts of people are like, oh wow, giant dog. We've never seen anything like that. And, you know, what do you do about something like that, you know? I don't think the police are necessarily equipped to deal with something like that, especially if things start to get a little hairy. Ooh. So now Jahy's tempting fate by saying, you know, no animal stands a chance against me. That sounds like a real good way to get bested by a dog. Oh boy. So Sarva's just, you know, doing open chemistry in her room. I feel like, oh boy. You know, it's never good when you have, like, burners going and you're not really watching them, but when you have something that allows you to transform into anything, man, Sarva's aiming too high. Like, she doesn't have to transform into Jahy and just, you know, blunder and act like a fool. Like, Jahy can do that perfectly well on her own. You know, she has no reputation from which to isolate herself. Now, something tells me it's not going to be so simple as just, you know, swallow the pill, transform. Okay, well, I guess it was that simple. Never mind then. I figured there'd need to be some component of, like, you need something from the person you're trying to imitate. But I guess not. So, at this rate, I get the feeling that, you know, Sarva is probably just going to have to, like, work a shift for no actual pay. I mean, that seems likely, right? Like, Jahy will effectively get the day off. Oh. Man, even worse than working, she has to pay rent. Like, it's over. But that said, oh my god. I'll ruin her reputation by not paying rent. That's so different from usual. Oh boy. I really hope the landlord puts her in a rear naked choke and just strangles her. Oh boy. And this really is karma. Sarva's so focused on trying to ruin Jahy's reputation that she's just behaving perfectly normal and within expected parameters. Like, that is exactly something Jahy would say. I won't give money to no mere humans. Ah, man, I hope the beating will be swift and brutal. Oh, man, she instantly folded. Like, this is far more suspicious that she would just, you know, give up and pay rent. I mean, ironically, she has sort of ruined Jahy's reputation in that, the landlord will be expecting more compliance next month. Although she's also given Jahy the tremendous benefit of not having to pay rent this month. Man. So she's just prepared to ruin her reputation, but, man, she's failing already by, effectively showing up early for work. I feel like no matter what she tries to do, the boss is going to be so just generally understanding that, nothing bad could possibly happen. Man. Sarva's just thinking way too highly of Jahy that, she must be a regular here as a patron rather than as a employee. I feel like Jahy ordering something and then skipping out on the tab is more normal than anything else. Wow. It's interesting that the boss just sort of picked her up and manhandled her rather than the landlord beating her. So, that's it then. Sarva is just so easily manipulated that she just starts working a shift. Wow, and you know what? She's even a thoughtful waitress. No matter what she tries to do to ruin Jahy's reputation, nothing is working. I mean, what's she gonna do next? Save a puppy from a burning building? Ironically, that might ruin Jahy's reputation just by making her seem too good. Oh boy, it's over when you're being praised for going above and beyond. You've done a real good job of ruining Jahy's reputation there. Oh boy. So I feel like she's gotta, snatch victory from the jaws of defeat somehow. Surely there are a bunch of ways she could ruin the reputation now that she knows what it is. But at the same time, the boss is such a nice, caring person that, it would take a truly cruel person to do something. And thankfully it seems like Sarva isn't that. Neither is Jahy, for that matter. Oh boy, the boss is like, something's wrong with Jahy. Man, wonder what's going on. Man, it's bad when your employee's working diligently and you're like, oh boy, what happened? What's going on here? Oh man, this is the final indictment that, Sarva fell for Jahy's trap. Jahy didn't plan ahead, there's no way. But if she did, it would be a little funny. Now, it turns out she's just a lazy rat, literally sleeping the whole day through. Man, imagine oversleeping for a whole day, but it's gotta be good when, you think you're gonna get reamed by the boss, but, no, you actually shut up and did a good job, unbeknownst to you. Man. 306 yen and a week until payday. Imagine how bad things would be if she actually paid rent, So, 306 yen, that's like, what, $5 USD with current exchange rates? That's, not good, We're talking like real meager rations here, and, I don't know. The situation is grim for Jahy, but I get the feeling she will be able to make it through. The only question is someone gonna, take pity on her and give her more food? I mean, probably not, seeing as how the boss, did that yesterday, although it was really Sarva. Oh boy. Jahy's just speaking true words right there. I want money without working. Now the question is, how does one do that? I was gonna say maybe she could forage for, edible plants and things like that, but maybe spending all your time and effort trying to find a way to get money without spending time or effort is a little bit counterintuitive. It's unfortunate that oftentimes the simplest solution is the best one, and the simplest solution in this case is, just work. Jahy. Imagine buying food while you're trying to budget. Man. That was a third of her money. And the food might well be worth it. It might be good and tasty, but that's at best one meal. And if you have to make 300 yen stretch a week, it's not good to use a third of it for 1/20th approximately of the food you're gonna need. Oh boy. Commiserating with other people saying, hey, do you know how to make easy money? That's not a winning strategy. Oh man, speaking of a winning strategy, spending money is totally gonna fix the situation. Oh no, how could this have possibly happened? I spent more money. She is incorrigible and unrepentant. Man, I mean, at this point, she might be better off just leaving her money in a cold, dark place and hoping it reproduces on its own. That's probably gonna have better odds than just going around asking people if they know good ways to make money for no effort. It probably also doesn't help to hassle the shopkeepers who you're trying to squeeze advice out of. Man, it's gonna be a real rough week now that she's spent all her money. I know that food is probably quite good indeed, but 6 yen. That's not gonna get you anywhere. Man, I'm wondering if she's just gonna come to the conclusion that maybe she could pick up another shift. She said she couldn't really do that, but I feel like if you talk to the boss and you're boss, please, I need a shift, she wouldn't say no. When you get down to it, it was probably a foolish idea to go to a place where you buy things to try and acquire more money, When you get down to it, it's really not a winning strategy. Although it seems like she has latched onto the winning strategy of just act incredibly pathetic so that the boss takes pity on you. Whoa, buddy. It's never good when you look that gaunt. Oh boy. If I still had 300 yen, I wouldn't have to admit to my money problems. That's grim. And that's also not true, because, the difference between 300 yen and 6 yen is basically negligible, Ah, man. Imagine trying to say with a straight face, no, I didn't waste all my money. Wow. Look at that. The solution isn't even just picking up more shifts. The solution is getting an advance on the paycheck. And, the boss would just do that if you ask. Man, it's almost like there's a saying, ask and ye shall receive. sometimes you can rely on the goodwill of others. Okay, so I guess this is another little side story like Jahy the space pirate. I guess now she's a mangaka, and man, you know it's over when you're like, oh boy, 10 minutes from the deadline, gotta keep working. Like, I've heard mangaka, they have unfortunately strict deadlines that are common with just weekly publications, but you know, when you think about it, there's a lot of work that goes into manga between, like, penciling and inking and, you know, just, like, writing and storyboarding and all that. And plus, like, you do most of it yourself. Like, yeah, you have assistants for backgrounds and things like that, but that's still a monstrous amount of work. I mean, I say this as, like, someone who sort of, like, plateaued at about 8 years old in terms of artistic skills, so like, this is never something I could have possibly done, but, you know, even if I could, I don't know if I would want to. So, the landlord's supposed to be the editor or something? Honestly, the landlord should just, like, break Jahy's fingers or something. So, month after month, it seems like it's a monthly publication, which, you know, comes with a higher page count, but you also have a month, so I feel like it kind of balances out in the long run. Huh. That's a weird fourth wall break that, like, the publication in question is for The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated. You know, if anyone was authorized to write her own story, it would surely be Jahy, but I don't know. I feel like she would just not put in much effort at all. Oh. Man, that's grim, spilling ink on a finished drawing. I could not imagine. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.